A dear friend of mine asked if I could ask you this question, and that is, what realm do you come from? And he's listed a few of them here.
None that he would know
Should I?
or be satisfied with.
He's had astral, archangel, angel, spirits of form.
Whatever he considers to be
wisdom.
the best one.
He does have supreme being here.
We'll take that one.
I thought you might.
It's fair for him to ask those questions because what he's wanting to do is put us in the context of what he understands.
Yeah.
And man has been doing that with that which is non-physical from the beginning of your physicalness. In other words, you cannot see other than through the eyes that you have, through the perspective that you have. So you have to find some way of making sense of it. That's what Esther is doing all day, every day, as she allows us to flow through. We're not whispering words that she's repeating. We're offering our knowing, which she is receiving vibrationally, and then she's looking for the physical word equivalent. And so there are many physical beings that want us to describe where we come from because you are currently focused in a time-space reality. But that implies that we also, from our non-physical perspective, are focused in a time-space reality, and we are not. We are in a timeless, spaceless reality. And so we could conjure something, we could make something up for the purpose of making him feel better, but there is no point in it because it causes the continuation of the distortion of trying to get energy to be from some place, you see. It is only human that tries to put the hierarchy on things. So, tell your friend that Abraham explained who they are in this way. We are the vibrational essence that equals the culmination of all that has been lived, both physically and non-physically. We are an energy that is expanding consciously and constantly because of the willingness of physical experience and its contribution to the never-ending want or desire. We are the expanded version of who each of you are, and we are the pure essence of that expanded version. We hold not any of the concerns that you hold, but we have benefited from the concerns that you have lived. We are not stumped by your questions, but we ride on the stream of your answers. We are not bothered by your problems because your problems have inspired the expansion or solution. We are as broad or as deep as the question that you ask, because law of attraction will not match you up with the part of us that is different than the part of you. We can only be as wise as your wisdom, as loving as your love, and as smart as your brilliance. We cannot be more than you allow us to be. So when you find something in us that you deem worthy or wonderful or beneficial, you must understand that it is a pure reflection of who you are, because you could not get it from us if you were not it also. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain eternally incomplete.
My question is about health.
Yep.
I'm struggling with a body that, isn't serving me, melanoma. And I just wonder, how do I clear it up?
Well, we've been talking a lot here about letting the physical aspects take a back seat for a little while you let your connection to source take a front seat. So if we were to say to you, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't fret over that. Can you hear that? If we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't fret over that. Can you hear?
No, it's hard to hear as one more pops up.
If we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't fret over that.
Okay.
If we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't fret over that. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't fret over that. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't fret over that. We wouldn't fret over that. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't fret over that. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not fret over that.
So
if we were standing
in my physical shoes, I will not fret over that.
If we were in your body, if we were holding your perspective, we would not fret over that. We would not fret over that. We would not trend in that direction. We would not fret over that. 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 All right, Abraham, what would you do? We would think about other things. What other things are you interested in? We just wanted to get your attention for a minute here.
Okay.
I wouldn't fret over that. If we were sitting on your physical fanny, we would not fret over that. If we were lying in your physical bed, we would not fret over that. If we were having dinner with your physical friends, we would not fret over that. If we were having conversations with others, we would not be talking about that. We would not be talking about that. We would not trend 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 about that. But how does somebody not trend about something? You got to trend about other things. So you got to let something else get your attention. And sometimes humans are not wired like that. You're wired to find a problem and then wrestle the problem to the ground. But the whole time you're wrestling the problem to the ground, you're trending in the direction of the problem. And so you have to get a different point of view of it. You have to think about your inner being's point of view, or your cell's point of view, or energy point of view, or you have to get your mind off of it. Or you have to find a method that you believe so much in that when you trend in the method, you're still in alignment, but you haven't done that. That's why you are fretting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've been playing with all of you by saying, and Esther's really picked up this game for herself personally. We encouraged you to, when you are fretting over something, recognize it, and you'll never do it again without recognizing it, because we made a point here. So you won't accidentally do that again. When you do it, you'll remember this moment in time, because we were weird.
But we love your weirdness.
So when you catch yourself doing that, and you will, then just take a deep breath in and enjoy it, and then breathe it out, and let that be what you're doing for a minute. In other words, do it so deliberately that for a moment that's all you're doing. Just breathing in and being aware of it, and breathing out. In fact, breathe in slower and longer than usual, and then breathe out slower and longer than usual, and do it 3 or 4 or 5 times until breathing is what you're doing for a minute. And then say to yourself, do I feel a little better, or do I feel a little worse, or do I feel about the same? And no matter what the answer is, do it again. And then ask yourself, do I feel a little better, or do I feel a little worse, or do I feel about the same? Well, if you really did focus on your breathing 3 or 4 or 5 times like that, you will feel a little better, because you will have stopped the trending, and you will be in sync with your inner being. And that's a nice place to be, because you were worried, so your desire was activated. Now you've quieted yourself, so now you're in the receiving mode, and now your body is extra receptive to your true self, to your whole self, to the whole of who you are. So everything's functioning in a more lovely way than it was before you played this game. And it won't take much of that before you show yourself that you feel better. Now, this is the thing that we most wish for you. We want your acknowledgement that you feel better to be what you're going for. For a while, it'll be hard for you to not go take immediate score. This will be about feeling a little better. And you show yourself that you can do it just by deciding you want to. Because you see, manifestations that you call changes in your physical body, they don't happen like that. An emotion doesn't even happen like that. An emotion takes a few breaths. In other words, it's a little bit of a process. So what we're saying to you is, you can't change the spot on your skin instantly, but close to instantly, you can change the way you feel. You can change the way you feel. You can change the way you feel. And once you change the way you feel, everything that you desire begins moving in that direction. It's just how it works. You could fill in the blank any subject that is bothering you with this subject and apply this process, and you would get immediate results of feeling better and eventual, and by that we mean pretty darn quick results that could be observed by others. But you got to go for the results that can't be observed by others, and they have to be the ones that matter to you the most. Because as long as what is observed by others has your attention, there's so much clutter in the vibration. If everybody could release everything that's bothering them, whole industries would go out of business. You think they want that? You think they're on your side? We're playing a little bit. We said early on to the crowd that assembled, anytime you co-create with any other human, their intentions become part of the mix. And you just can't hold it against them that their intentions might be different from yours. It isn't that they're not well-meaning. It's that they've established a business where your problem is their benefit. Doesn't mean that they're not nice. It means that they're selfish. It means that they're advocating for self. Everyone's advocating for self. It's not a bad thing that everyone's advocating for self. But you advocate for self by aligning with total self, with true self, you see. And when you get it, that what anybody else thinks in human form is irrelevant, and anything you ever thought before is irrelevant, even what is right now, this red hot minute, in terms of what people are looking at in terms of manifestation, is irrelevant because it's past tense. It's old news. Everything that is currently manifested in your experience is old news because there is a vortex that has moved on. And the vortex is the present tense as far as your inner being is concerned. When you stood before Jesus, dripping your illness, he did not see it. He knew your wellness, and he knew it so emphatically that he owned the room. And if you were even slightly in the vicinity of having faith in what he knew, you believed it too. And then your illness could not be part of the experience while you were there. And then he said something very wise. Don't tell anybody about this. Go forth and tell no one. Because they're not going to take it easily from you. They're going to say, oh, that can't possibly be. And then you'll start trending with them again. Instead of with your vortex, instead of with your own intentions, instead of with what you want. And we are not in any way guiding you away from any methodology that you have found. In other words, there are plenty of things that physical beings have discovered that are helpful in this process. We're just saying, do the refreshment and the believing and the alignment mostly, and then anything else that you feel like doing to promote your physical well-being. All right?
Yes, thank you.